Hi, I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, founder of Step by Step Dyslexia Solutions. Welcome today to our YouTube. I have a very special guest today. She is a homeschooling mom of 25 years. She actually has 6 children, and she has her graduate degree in linguistics. So we call it English, which is a big umbrella, and there's some conversation we can have about that, but she's a wonderful person, a new friend of mine, and her children struggle with dyslexia, and she realizes that she probably does too. But as adults, the adults seem to get through the dyslexia, they master and conquer it. But I want to introduce Beth to you. My new guest is Beth Ahlers. Come on stage, Beth. It's so good to have you here today.
Hi, Marianne.
Would you share with our audience a little bit more about your background, maybe as a homeschool mom, and then maybe your training?
Well, as you said, I have 6 children. My oldest is now married and has 2 kids of her own, probably homeschool. My youngest is 14, and when they were young, so I think like around 2003, I went to a CHIA convention. CHIA is Christian Home Educators Association of California. And it was a full weekend with lots of workshops and lots of vendors selling resources. And I don't know exactly why, but I was very drawn to some workshops on dyslexia and ADD, ADHD. And so my oldest was under 10 years old, but she had gone through reading and was reading successfully. The second one was having more trouble. And so I went into these workshops and listened to the speaker, who was very helpful. But I sat there like this going, oh my goodness, this sounds so familiar. And I think it was hitting me that not only do I see these symptoms in my children, but it feels so familiar to me myself. And if they have dyslexia, it's probably from me. And so that's why I started learning about dyslexia and what may be the reasons behind the struggles my girls were having. And I forgot the next idea I had that was connected to that. We can go on.
When it comes back, I was going to ask you, I have adults come to me to assess them for dyslexia. And then what I'd love to see my reading program do is help adults teach themselves how to read. So did you help yourself learn how to read then?
I was able to read as a child, but I had to work very hard at it, and I didn't realize that not everybody has to work that hard at it. And so having gone through it myself and seen my children, for our family at least, there seems to be like a hump or a stage that once you get over that, you can just fly.
Like a hurdle. It's a hurdle, yes.
Yes. And it seems to be something with, once you get past the sounding out letter by letter stage and you can sight read, and then the way our brains work, it could just accelerate and, just fly. Because what the children and what I noticed I am good at and was able to teach them and nurture them and was the ideas of the content. And so once we got over the hurdle, of letter by letter, word by word, we are able to just go into ideas and content. And I think that's related to why your entrepreneurs are so, they're not only creative and have initiative, but but it's all about ideas and content and being out of the box. So that's where they thrived. So my girls, my oldest one, she had some difficulty, but not to an extreme. But she was able to get. It sounds like around sixth grade, sixth or seventh grade, they seemed to find it a little bit easier. And then she went on to get her master's in education and taught eighth grade in downtown LA. So she did well. And my second one is a librarian now. She loves books so much.
Isn't that something? I was going to ask you to talk to the parent who says, I'm just so busy. I want to homeschool my children, but I don't know how I would even work it in. Because I know some parents work jobs, both parents are working. Sometimes one of the parents is home part-time, sometimes full-time. But with 6 kids and a parent is concerned because she has one child or two, how could you encourage that parent that homeschooling her child is the right thing to do and how to maybe manage her time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been talking to other mothers, especially during this pandemic time when the kids have been forced to be home, and the mothers have had to really juggle their lives around. But for myself, it was had to do with maybe we could call it a sacrifice of time and of my own career progression for the time. But I'd say to other mothers that it's just a season. Children
Good.
grow up so quickly that if you take this short season of their lives to invest in them as a whole person, and as you being the mother, at that relationship, that parenting relation can be so enriched just by having more time together. And in the school situations, it's very stressful for the children because they have to get up early and pack and get out the door, and by the time they get home and see mother again, and if mother's working full time, it may be evening after such a tiring day for everyone. And so the time that you have to build relationship is sort of the leftovers. And so homeschooling is really rewarding. It might not be rewarding economically, but in the things that really matter in the long term, I found that it's so worth it, so valuable, so rewarding. And then economically, it's really not. If you can't work out your current job, you may have to take cut in income, but it's not really that expensive to homeschool. And because you're already feeding them, clothing them, and there's so many resources that you have to put out a lot. And then Marianne, your kind of programs are so much more effective as on a one basis or small group. It's just so much more helpful for the children.
And the neat thing is, if parents don't know how to help their children read with intervention, we could either train them with our training videos, or they could hire us to work with them, to work with their children. But let me have you address the creativity and the sensory needs that dyslexic children have that are not being addressed in the typical classroom.
Well, there are definitely that. So the holistic idea is part of that. So that when the children learn so much just by living life, So it's part of, so there's the kinetic learning ability too. So we don't need to sit here at the kitchen table for 6 hours straight. There, they can sit at the table maybe 10 minutes, and then after that we get up and make a grocery list. And so you can there's there's a lot of oral and verbal and auditory learning, that when they're learning language, not just pencil and paper, but as you say, oh, okay, what should we put on our grocery list when we go to the grocery store? And you talk about, oh, we need eggs and we need bread and we need butter. And oh, okay, mommy's making a grocery list. Do you want to make one too? And then we go to the store and we can read the labels on, oh, here we have milk. See, milk. And so they can actually like learn to read. Do you notice that they can read labels? They can read signage. They can read logos. They recognize it, and they don't know they're reading. But these
Yeah.
are ways that give them confidence as well as instruction.
And
So
it's so neat. That's what I really love about homeschooling is you can incorporate so much activity and creativity into learning.
yes.
Um, what would you tell a parent if she wanted to start homeschooling? Where would she get started? I know a lot of churches have groups for homeschooling, but where would a parent get started if she just wants to start looking into it?
Well, I'd go to the website for CHIA. I believe it's CHEA of CA of California. CHEA
.org.
of OFCA.org. Yes,
Oh, okay.
they have so many resources for investigating into what the options are and what the state requirements are. California actually has a lot of freedom for homeschoolers that we have been fighting for since the 1980s. And we've gone from people believing that it's illegal to having it very mainstream. There's also an organization that has a great website with lots of help called HSLDA, Homeschool Legal Defense. That's probably also .org, but I'm not sure. HSLDA, Homeschool Legal Defense. And they are located in Virginia, and they have lawyers that are assigned to look out for the freedoms of homeschoolers in all 50 states. And their website, especially through the pandemic, they've even added more resources and helps there to get started for people that are looking into it for the first time because schools have closed.
You know, it's real interesting. More and more people are homeschooling now. And there was the threat of they're trying to close it down, right? But now I go on Clubhouse, which is a social platform with like Zoom, but without the visual. And there's places called Not Back to Schooling, which is the homeschooling group. And there's a lot of people meeting, talking about clubs for the genius dyslexic children. Because, you know, while you and other adults work through your symptoms of dyslexia and you mastered them and you became successful adults, we're just seeing a population of children, which, you know, exposed to this pandemic, it's made things even more serious, where they're just getting depressed, they're feeling hopeless, they don't want to try. So if we can help them read, we want to unlock their genius minds so that they can realize their full potentials and thrive. So it all, you know, really does start with getting them to read so we can build their self-esteem.
Yes, having that confidence and their self-esteem. That's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? We're going to wrap this up, but is there any final comments you'd like to share with the audience before we go?
Well, I would like to encourage anyone that's listening that it can be done. Whatever the challenge is in your family and with your children, there is a way to give them opportunities and resources and help. And yeah, I'm going to pray for you right now that God will bring all the people that you can talk to for encouragement, for guidance, for resources like Marianne, and the opportunities and the confidence that as a parent, God has given you your child, knowing exactly who your child is, and that child was fit just for you. And you as mom or dad have all the resources in yourself given from God to do the best parenting job you can. And when it looks like it's scary and you can't handle the overwhelmed feeling, I want to encourage you that you can, because God's given you that child, and everything he knew that child would need is available to you. And so ask God for it and for guidance, and you'll have it.
That is really good encouragement, and I believe those prayers have been received. Thank you, Beth, for being our special guest today. And I want to thank the audience for being here. I hope you've learned, received the prayer and learned some good resources. And again, our message is to dyslexic parents and parents who have dyslexic children, because we want to encourage you and let you know that you're not alone, and we want to equip you. So if what we have shared has inspired you, would you visit my website at dyslexia-solutions.com? And if you'd like to make a donation, you could help keep our website and our programs going. We are a nonprofit 501c3, so we appreciate you tuning in. Would you please like this and subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it with others who you think would benefit from this information? I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, thanking you for being here, and we'll say goodbye to Beth.
All right.
Bye, Beth. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.